Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today 10.3 should be live for just about everybody by the time this video goes up, maybe a couple hours difference depending upon what part of the world you are in. So we're going to go ahead and dive on into the patch notes and go over what's new this patch and share my thoughts with you guys. And if you want to read along as I read aloud, just follow the link in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get going. So this update, of course, you should have actually downloaded it yesterday to your client, and then today it'll be going live around 3, 4, 5 in the morning. But anyway, so obviously with 10.3 we have the full Italian battleship line available, including Cristoforo Colombo. Actually, is one of the few ones that weren't available at this point just yet. Review on that will be out pretty soon. So of course, when update 10.3 goes live, Italian battleships Dante Alighieri, Conte di Cavour, Andrea Doria, Francesco Carasilio, Vittorio Veneto, Lepanto, and Cristoforo Colombo will become available for players to research. Feature the branch semi-armor piercing shells instead of HE shells. These shells deal significant damage to weakly and moderately protected targets and vulnerable ship parts, but they do not cause fires. Large number of guns, but with relatively short firing range and not the greatest accuracy. Decent maneuverability and armor protection. Tier 8 to 10 ships have the exhaust smoke generator consumable, which allows them to hide from the enemy without having to reduce their speed. Shooting from within the smoke screen isn't recommended while retreating because battleships have high detectability when using their main battery guns while in smoke. So something very interesting that I meant to bring up in the Deadeye is Dead video, but forgot to mention, is that the Italian battleships, definitely the higher tier ones for sure, rely a lot on Deadeye to get decent dispersion. So when Deadeye goes away in 10.4, I would very much think it would be a good move to increase the accuracy of the Italian battleships by about 10%, especially the higher tier ones. But we haven't gotten any word on that just yet as of me recording this video, so we'll have to wait and see if that happens. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, which won't be a very fun time for the Italian battleships if that does hold true. Alright, so next up is the dockyard. With 10.3, the Hamburg dockyard is back, but this time we're building ZF6. Players will be able to return to the updated Hamburg dockyard where a new German destroyer, Tier 9 ZF6, can be built. The ship has decent concealment AP shells that can inflict significant damage and have enhanced ricochet angles, and the engine boost smoke generator and DFA consumables. When countering destroyers, the ship can take advantage of the main battery reload booster consumable. When it comes to heavily armored targets, her fast torpedoes that can inflict heavy damage and have a decent reload time, but also have quite high detectability, may come in handy. The rules of the event are similar to those of the previous dockyards, but the number of shipbuilding phases and rewards are different. This construction process of the dockyard compromises 22 phases. Wow, English is hard today, boys. The shipbuilding phases can be completed by progressing through the dockyard combat missions or by spending 2,200 dubs to pass through each phase. If you want to complete shipbuilding phases at a discount, you can purchase starter packs, 8 shipbuilding phases in exchange for 8,950 doubloons, or 3 shipbuilding phases in exchange for 5,000 doubloons. That is a bit more expensive than it was last time. The combat missions of the dockyard will span 2 updates, 10.3 and 10.4. Players will be able to complete shipbuilding phases in exchange for doubloons until the end of update 10.5. In total, you can pass through 19 of the 22 shipbuilding phases by progressing through the dockyard combat missions. For completing shipbuilding phases, you can earn coal, premium account time, elite commander XP, and other rewards. Upon completing the 22nd shipbuilding phase, you'll receive ZF6 in the War Paint Camouflage, a commander with 10 skill points, a port spot, and a commemorative flag. The first 4 shipbuilding phases involve the creation of ZF6 designs drawings, then the building of the ship begins. There's some images there. So, yeah, I don't know if this is a smart idea to put ZF6 in the dockyard, because these German destroyers, this split, they aren't very popular already just because of the way their stats are looking, and that could be completely wrong. They could turn out to be great destroyers, but I don't think they have enough hype to warrant doing a dockyard around. Now, granted, this is something you can completely just ignore if you don't like the ZF6 or the new split already, and to you, you'll be missing out on nothing. But I will try to get this ship and review her for you guys, and we'll see how she turns out, well, probably in a few days for y'all. If you complete the construction of ZF6 by spinning doubloons, make sure to keep progressing through the dockyard combat missions. Completing with each of these phases will bring you 3,000 coal and 200 steel. That's a pretty nice rewards for doing the for buying the phases and then going back doing them again, and then you get 200 steel and 3,000 coal for each phase. That's a lot of coal and a lot of steel, so that's nice for the whales out there. But yeah, I don't know how popular the ship is going to be. Probably should have waited until the line came out and then saw how popular the ship was and then do a dockyard on the ship. Just my 2 cents on it. But anyway, German DDs Part 1. Speaking of the new German DDs, Update 10.3 kicks off an event that places the new German Tier 7 to 9 destroyers right in the spotlight. Features of the ship branch: accurate main battery guns with a large caliber for the ship type, 150mm. Powerful AP shells with decent penetration range and decent penetration damage and enhanced shell ricochet angles. They are capable of dealing significant damage to cruisers. Good armor for their type, which effectively protects against the HE shells of most destroyers unless they have mastered the IFHE skill, and large HP pools. Combined with effective artillery, this results in special gameplay for the new German destroyers. They're essentially agile ships with powerful AP shells that primarily focus on lone targets, like cruisers particularly. The low damage per minute of their HE shells and their high detectability means that these new ships are quite ineffective when fighting for control of key areas. The smoke generator consumable improves the already good survivability of the new ships even further. Starting from Tier 9, German destroyers have access to the DFAA consumable, which allows them to confront enemy squadrons with greater confidence. Their torpedoes deal heavy damage and have good range and a reload time that is quite standard for most destroyers, but they are rather slow. Okay, again, I have to get my hands on these DDs to see if they're any good. I'm not the best DD player ever. I'm pretty decent in gunboats, and I guess these are gunboats, but they're more like small cruisers rather than a big destroyer. And they are designed to go after lone cruisers, particularly lone light cruisers, so it's a very, very niche role. And I'm not too sure how they're going to do, especially in CV matches, unless they have like God tier AA, which it doesn't look like that they do, but we'll see. Early access: German tokens are a new temporary resource. You can earn them by completing weekly chains of combat missions. They can also be obtained from random bundles available for doubloons, free daily bundles, and bundles in exchange for recruitment points in the armory. Rewards for German tokens: German destroyer Z-31 and Gustav Julius Marker, Iron Cross permanent camouflage for new destroyers, and other rewards that can be found in sequentially available bundles. The amount of tokens that can be earned by completing weekly chains of combat missions and obtained from the Kriegsmarine trophies, free random bundles in the army, will be enough to obtain the Z-31 and the Iron Cross permanent camouflage from sequentially available bundles. Rewards from the random bundles when available for doubloons: Felix Schultz with a 10 skill point commander, and port slot, German tokens, Hunter, black, white, red, expendable camouflage, and special signals. So you can get up to the tier 9 in the doubloons bundle, which is kind of silly. Again, these ships will be available for free in a few patches, so just like with all the other events, I'm going to recommend you guys simply don't spend any money on this. Go out, grind the directives. You get something, great. You don't get something, no worries. You'll be able to get it for free in a few patches anyway. And that's what they note down here. When update 10.5 goes live, the new German destroyers will become available for all players to research. The port of Hamburg has been updated, and just like before, it looks like they just added in more fog to the map, so cool. Anyway. Alright, daily rewards. To allow more players to receive daily rewards, we've updated the daily shipment section. The section has been renamed Daily Rewards, and its interface has been updated. It's now available in the player's menu from the port from the first day of each month and offers 24 rewards. The section will become available on May 1st. If a player has collected all 24 rewards and the month is not over yet, then upon entering the game on each subsequent day until the end of the month, the player will receive an additional reward 750 free XP. And here's a graphic of all the rewards. So looks like you got some nice stuff here. Credits, coal, containers, and then potentially a ton of free XP. Armory, what is probably the biggest shock, and I didn't really have time to make a video about it yesterday. With the release of the update, German aircraft carrier Max E. Millerman will become available in the Armory. Max E. Millerman is a heavy aircraft carrier project with good armor protection and a powerful secondary battery. She can deploy a new squadron type, skip bombers, which bounce their bombs off the water surface. The ship has two types of aircraft, torpedo bombers and skip bombers. The HE bombs of the latter have high chances of causing a fire and can inflict significant damage to ships that they strike. Her squadrons are fast but have small HP pools. You can obtain the ship in exchange for 264,000 coal. So what's interesting, she only has two squadrons. She only has torpedo bombers and skip bombers. No AP rockets, but these skip bombers, from what I've seen, they pack one heck of a punch. So yet another ship for the review docket. Commonwealth Destroyer Vampire 2, the Daring class destroyer, will become available in the Research Bureau from April 23rd. She is one of the largest and most powerful warships built in Australia. The ship is the most dangerous for the enemy in artillery duels thanks to her efficient main battery guns, as well as the crawling smoke generator hydroacoustic search consumable. The ship will be available for 55,000 research points. Hoo-hoo, boy. So the Immelmann is a ship I definitely want to get my hands on, and so is the Vampire 2, which is just a better Daring. So yeah, expect reviews on these ships when they come out. Immelmann, I don't know. I got so many ships to try and get reviews out on. Like, we got the Colombo, we got the ZF6, we got the Millerman. So far, let me know in the comments down below, which of these ships do you want to see as a review video for tomorrow? Let me know down below, and I'll try to get it and get a review out on her for tomorrow. Two new Japanese commanders, Reizo Suzuki in exchange for 1,500 doubloons, and Takeo Suzuki in exchange for 35,000 coal, will become available from April 29th. The commanders have the following enhanced skills. For cruisers, destroyers, and aircraft carriers, survivability expert. For battleships, emergency repair specialist. So for cruisers and destroyers, you get you get 400 points of HP per tier. For the aircraft, you get 30 aircraft HP per tier. And for battleships, you get a 4% boost to your cooldown time of damage con and repair party. And it's the same for both of them. There's a nice little graphic there. We've added the Legion of Honor containers, which can be purchased for 1,000 coal. And here's what they can contain. And also when 10.5 goes live, we are, of course, losing the Lovenhart, the Nelson, the T-61, the Haida, the Z-39, Asashio, Linden, and the Admiral Graf Spee. So you have two more patches now to get those ships. And out of those ships, I do very much highly recommend you get Nelson. It's a free Tier 7 premium ship. It just costs 375,000 free XP. So I do recommend you get that. And Linden 2 is also, in my opinion, a good ship to pick up. But that one does, of course, cost money. Alright, visual improvements. Fixed torpedo trail is now larger, brighter, and longer. I kind of like the older one. It's kind of more subtle, and like you can still see the torpedoes. But I mean, of course, I get, they're not very clear if you're not paying attention, but they still, of course, have the icons on top of them. But, they look kind of like the older torpedoes, but with better effects, so I guess that is good overall. And improve the brightness of tracers and corrected map parameters for their display. So kind of the same deal there. The tracers were kind of dull-ish, which again I didn't really mind too much, but they don't look bad. I just, I didn't mind them looking that dull before because you can kind of see a lot of the detail in the smoke and the particle effects. But again, not a bad change, just a different change. Sizes of shells have been changed. The visual difference between flying HE and AP shells are now more obvious. Improve the blizzard effect in local weather. It will be more comfortable to play during a blizzard. The shot rendering distances have been changed. Now the smoke from a salvo will be visible from a greater distance. That's good. The frequency of the visual effect of the hydroacoustic search consumable has become less frequent. 36 seconds instead of 20 seconds. This will allow players to better focus on a battle. Who is being distracted by the hydro effect? Some people got ADHD. Fix the bug that caused the shake effect to be missing when taking damage. We've reduced the speed of the flow of waves to reduce the discomfort for some players. What? The visibility of ships' torpedoes' aiming cones have been improved on the map straight. The effects rendering system has been optimized to improve performance. That's good. Elements of the underwater world have been added for some maps because submarines are still a thing. We've changed the lighting settings and reduced the smoke screen effect. Have to see what that looks like. But overall, sounds like some good changes. Again, art department still continuing to carry the game. The commander skill window interface has been updated to improve navigation and make it more informative. The the all skills button has been replaced with the information icon next to the header of the skills table. The skills tooltips now have a block with consumables the skill applies to. That's cool. And tooltips for the skills that have permanent and activated effects, an explanatory header has been added to the permanent one. You have redistributed the maximum number of skill points line that has been added instead of the counter of free skill points for fully trained commanders. Tooltips for commanders with talents and personalizations show talents and personalizations first and then the skills below them. The skill point counter has been removed from the commander portraits in the commander skills window. The indicator of available commander skill points has been moved to below the commander portrait. When recruiting, dismissing, or performing other actions with commanders, the last selected variant is preserved. Tooltips for personalization talents have been unified with those for the skills. Adding missing sounds for commander-related window operations. Fix the bug that caused the ship carousel to not be displayed in the commander skills window. Whew, so just some good quality of life and organizational changes, and overall I think, again, some pretty good changes here with the commander skills. Nothing major, but again, just some better quality of life changes. The skills and details windows interface has been updated. The ship type tab and the skills detailed screen are now titled with text instead of ship icons. Okay, so that's cool. There's a picture of that. Added a hint about the need to assign a commander to a ship of a certain type to master skills. Icons for skills that haven't been mastered are now significantly darker. Remove the indicators of the number of skills that have not been mastered. Naval Battles. The following changes have been made to the Naval Battles to diversify the gaming experience. Players now have the possibility to earn additional attempts on the Naval Battles competition depending on their activity during the preparation stage. Players now have the possibility to view the results of their opponents during the engagement stage. For the convenience of players, all time intervals in the calendar will be shown in local time. The start time of each round will be shifted by 20 minutes. The round now starts at 6:20 UTC. The Naval Battles banner has been updated in the port. Alright, so again, some pretty cool changes, and earning more attempts from Naval Battles is always wonderful. If you're in a clan, you know what that's like. Alright, content additions and changes. As part of our cooperation with Legendary Toho, new content has been added into the game. Heat Ray permanent camouflage for the Amagi, that's the Godzilla camouflage and the good one. And Primal permanent camouflage for North Carolina, that's the Monka camouflage. Ultimate Guardian, Ultimate Titan, expendable camouflages, Commanders Godzilla and Kong with special voiceovers. I cannot emphasize how much I want to hear the Godzilla voiceover. The 2 Titans, 1 King container, we all know who that king is. Theme patches and flags. To mark a new stage of our cooperation with High School Fleet, the following items have been added to the game. Destroyers HSF Harakazu 2 and Battleship HSF He, which is another Congo that we have in the game. Permanent camouflages for Yamato and Musashi. A new commander, Leroy Jenkins, has been added to the game. You can obtain him by completing one of 2 chains of combat missions. The chains will be available on our website. Details will be announced later. So this Leroy Jenkins guy, it's not that Leroy Jenkins that you're thinking about. It's a different Leroy Jenkins. This guy is a veteran of the USS Kidd, and he was featured in the Ship Stories video of the Kidd. Here's him right here. I think it's really cool that they've added him into the game, and I'm planning on picking him up and slapping him on my Kidd. Alright, Kronstadt port has been updated for the Victory Day, and there's those changes. New Year decorations have been removed out of the port of Curie. That's about time. It's only, the 4th month of 2021? The flying ships have been added for testing by developers, super testers, and community contributors. The Constellation, Druid, Napoli, and the Yukon. Game balance changes. Update 10.3 have made changes to the parameters of several ships based on our analysis of their combat efficiency and feedback from players. These changes were required in order to carefully adjust the balance of selected warships. Further changes may be followed in the future updates should they be required. Thunderer! Main battery firing range reduced from 24.3 to 23 kilometers. Soviet cruiser Stalingrad. The action time of the surveillance radar consumable reduced from 30 to 25 seconds. Italian battleship Dante Alighieri. Similar parameters reduced from 1.6 to 1.5. Italian battleship Conte di Cavour. Main battery reload time reduced from 33 to 31.5 seconds. Italian battleship Andrea Doria. Maximum sap shell damage increased from 9100 to 9500. So mostly buffs there to the Italian BBs, except for the Dante Alighieri. I guess she was overperforming at her tier. Strange decision there, especially since Deadeye is being removed. Thunderer, a much needed nerf there. I don't think they'll end it there. I think they'll wind up somewhere around 20 kilometers base, and then you have to take the range mod to get it out to about 24 kilometers. Alright, changes to modules. To make the process of researching ships simpler, the following changes have been made. Mogami, Koenig, and Ryujo, hull A has been removed. Hulls B and C have been renamed A and B respectively. Furitaka, Mayoko, Izumo, Iowa, hulls A and B have been removed. Hull C has been renamed B. A new standard hull has been made based on hull C with a modified set of AA defenses. Omaha, hulls A and C have been removed. Hull B has been renamed A. A new researchable hull B has been made based on old hull B with a modified set of AA defenses. The standard hulls of the following ships have been replaced with new ones based on researchable hulls with a modified set of AA defenses. The Immelmann, the New York, the New Mexico, Colorado, North Carolina, Bayern, Ranger, Fletcher, Minsk, Kiev, Ognivoy, Tashkent, and Utiloy. Whew! The purpose of this is to make gameplay on these ships and their standard hull configuration more comfortable. Changes to guns. The Z39, the 150mm Mark 55 on an LDRH LC38 mount have been removed from the game. The main battery model has been changed. God, whew, these German abbreviations, they're not one or two words, they're about six. When hull B is mounted, the artillery configuration will change and the forward turret will become twin gun. Moving the 150mm guns will further emphasize the difference between the old and new branches of German DDs. The ships of the old branch will only have 128mm guns. The ships of the new branch will have 150mm guns. Compensation rules. Removing hull modules. If you already researched hull B, you'll receive ship XP equal to the cost of researching hull B as compensation. If you already researched hull C, the new hull B will be mounted on your ship instead. In other cases, new hull A will be mounted on the ship. If you already purchased a hull that is to be replaced, you'll receive compensation the amount of credits you paid for it. What if that includes all the hulls that I've sold in the, whatever they call it, the stockyard or whatever. Changes to Z23's guns. If you already researched the 150mm Mark 55 guns on the LDRH LC38 mount, you'll receive compensation in the amount of 15,000 ship XP. If you already purchased the guns that are to be replaced, you'll receive compensation the amount of credits you paid for them. Other changes and improvements. Improved game performance when switching between ships, purchasing a ship, resetting branches, and other operations at the port. Yeah, I've always wondered why those just lag out for no reason. Fixed an error that caused the overview camera to work incorrectly when playing Flanders. Other than that, there's not much more. And you can get a free day of premium time if you go to this article and click on the collect your gift button. So make sure you guys follow the link in the description down below to do that. So not a whole lot of big surprises here. We've mostly talked about most of this stuff before in the dev blog update videos, except for the Millerman and the Vampire 2 being announced so soon. The Millerman, I thought it was just stuck in dev hell, considering the amount of time it was spending in testing. And yeah, I think it's good that it doesn't have the rocket planes, but the skip bombers are really powerful from what I've seen in game and from being attacked by it. If they all hit, they basically just wreck anything with a moderately high freeboard, but we'll see how that goes. The Vampire 2, again, it's a better daring, and Daring's already a really good DD, so I can't wait to get her and take her for a spin. But yeah, keep an eye out for those ships with their first impressions reviews. And the Colombo will, of course, have its first impression review out fairly soon as well, along with the ZF6 too. So I'm going to have quite a few reviews out here in the next week or so, so keep your eyes peeled for them. But anyway, guys, hope you guys are already enjoying the update. I will be too once I get home from work. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We just passed 23,800 subs a few days ago, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Again, guys, hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.